But a couple months before, it just seemed that he was constantly preparing. He was constantly doing things around the house. He was constantly preparing for some, it seemed like some long journey or something. And I sort of sensed that he was going through what I would think was like a spiritual transition. You know, that we all go through different spiritual transitions at different points in our life. And I definitely felt that he was in one. And I don't even think he was really able to define what that was. But yeah, he said all sorts of things. One of the amazing things he said to me was that he said what he loved. He just turned to me and said, "Honey, you know what I love about the human spirit?" And I said, "What?" He said, "I love that there are people in this world that take their greatest tragedy and they allow it to move them forward in life so that their life has greater meaning than it might have otherwise had."
Mm.
And I often felt afterwards that he was really instructing me that that's what he expected of me if something ever happened in my life like that. And that was just very shortly before, before he died. And there were so many things like that.
And then there you are in the parking lot at the mall, right? In your car, the phone rings.
Yeah, I just think that it's Richard calling because it was a 212 area code. I think it's him calling to say that he's safe. And I'm thinking, maybe he doesn't have his cell phone charged up or something. And there's just these two strange voices on the phone, and they're firing questions at me, and they're, asking me, "Are you related to Richard Carlson?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, who wants to know?" And they're, "Well, we're the doctor so-and-so, nurse so-and-so. We're at the Jamaica Queens Memorial Hospital in New York, and we have Mr. Carlson with us here." And I say, "Well, what do you mean? He was on a flight." And I said, "Is he all right?" And I'm thinking, how can I get to New York to be with him? And they say, "No, we're sorry to inform you, Mrs. Carlson, that Mr. Carlson has expired."
Mm.
And, there's just certain moments in life that your own life just feels like, I really felt like my own life was going to end in that moment. I really could not at first grasp, I got really angry. I thought these people were pranking me. And then when I realized they told me that he wasn't feeling well on the flight, that he was asleep, and I just, when I started talking about the flight, I knew, and it just was hard. It was just absolutely, I felt like my whole being just shattered. I couldn't even feel my body. I mean, I was so far out of my body.
Mm.
And I just thought of my girls, I thought of my girls, and it's just an amazing thing that Spirit bridges you back to the moment, that there's a way for us all to survive loss, and we all find our way, and because we really have to. We don't really have a choice when you're a healthy young person, or, I didn't have a choice. I was going to survive that loss no matter what.
Some of us don't make that choice. Some of us collapse. Some of us don't know what to do. You might be one of those people right now, out there listening, feeling like you just can't take another breath. This is more than you can handle. It's one of the reasons we're doing this show, and pretty much every show that we're devoted to doing, is because there is an alternative. There is a way through. One of the things, if you're just joining us, that Christine did was she wrote a book about her experience that's so intimate and private and raw and no less than courageous, to help yourself navigate through what could otherwise be a devastating experience that you may not feel like you're ever going to be okay from again. And Kris, you are living a full, rich life, changed forever by your experience.